Good morning and welcome to Saturday morning. We've made it to Saturday for this week. Our devotion today is going to continue on with some helpful pointers as we examine Naaman's life. The first one on that was on the 14th, and that was entitled The Idolatry of Success. And then there was the 15th, Friday, The Successful Dead Man. And today, May 16th, it is some great thing, and we're still talking about Naaman. 2 Kings chapter 5, verses 9 through 11. So Naaman went with his horses and chariots and stopped at the door of Elisha's house. Elisha sent a messenger to say to him, "Go wash yourself 7 times in the Jordan, and your flesh will be restored, and you will be cleansed." But Naaman went away angry. Naaman expected that Elisha would take the money and perform some magic ritual, or he thought if Elisha did not take the money, he would at least demand that Naaman do some great thing to earn his healing. Instead, he was asked to simply go and dip himself 7 times in the Jordan River, and at this he went off in a rage. Why? Again, Naaman's entire worldview was being challenged. He had just learned that this God is not an extension of culture, but a transformer of culture. Not a controllable, but a sovereign Lord. Now he was being confronted with a God who, in his dealings with human beings, only operates on the basis of grace. These two go together. No one can control the true God because no one can earn, merit, or achieve their own blessing and salvation. Naaman was angry because he thought he was going to be asked to do a mighty thing, as it were, to bring back the broomstick of the wicked witch of the West, or to return the ring of power to Mount Doom. Those would have been requests in keeping with his self image and worldview. But Elisha's message was an insult. Any idiot, any child, anyone can go down and paddle around in the Jordan, he thought to himself. That takes no ability or attainment at all. Exactly, that is a salvation for anyone, good or bad, weak or strong. In other words, Naaman thought what Elisha asked him to do was very belittling for a famous man, for a mighty warrior, for someone who was right hand man to the king of his nation. What's so special about the Jordan River is basically his attitude. We've got great rivers back where I come from. Why not go there, kind of thing? But that's the issue here. He came in a pompous attitude, prideful attitude to Elisha. Oddly enough, he'd been sent there by a young servant girl in his house. I went ahead of myself. We'll get there. The Sunday Monday one. But that was his deal. What? This is Israel. What's so special about Israel and the Jordan River? What I could go get my leprosy taken care of in a river back home, kind of thing. He felt belittled. And when you're a man that's full of pride and somebody gives you some easy thing to do, it does. It feels insulting. Hey, anybody can do that. You don't need any special talent for that. You don't need to be a mighty warrior for that. You can just be a regular everyday person, go down the river, go around for a few times, come back out. Anybody can do it. Our General Naaman here finds it insulting, and and so he doesn't want to do that because it's beneath him and his attitude. He thought in going to, as Tim Keller tells us here, he went to Elisha. He'd heard a lot of things about this prophet, and that was his suspicion. He'll give me some great mighty thing to do, and I'll be able to boast about it, and I'll be able to claim I brought my own healing of my leprosy by doing this great and mighty thing. Some great man I'll have to go do battle with, some other thing that I could do better than anybody else. They'll ask me to do that, I'm sure. Must have been his attitude. Feel sorry for people like that who think they can handle anything and everything because they're so good at things, because they see themselves as being able to accomplish the difficult. And when we begin to think of ourselves like that and look at ourselves like that, we actually begin to slip away from God because we're telling ourselves we don't need him anymore. And we're telling him that we don't need you to help us. We can do it all on our own. We can make it happen. And there's a lot of history that that has men who were considered great leaders. That was their attitude about themselves, and eventually it caught up. It does catch up. We can't do everything because we're so great. This comes this kind of thing comes through the grace of God. Every good and perfect gift is from above. And God's the one who, in his grace and mercy, helps us, gives us what we need to deal with the issue we may be going through or the need that we need in some way. Again, this is 3 days of this kind of thing, of Naaman so full of himself, the idolatry of success. Again, he's done the impossible, and his attitude now is nobody can stop me. He moves into the category of successful man, but now he also has leprosy, and there's not one thing he can do about that. Some great thing, and that's the attitude he had about himself. I'm going to Elisha. He'll give me some incredible thing that I'll need to accomplish, and I'll earn I'll earn my healing, as it were. Same picture. Some people think because of what they give and they can earn their own salvation, and that's not happening in a million years. We cannot earn our salvation. I know I've said this a number of times over the years in pastoring and preaching that if we think, just stop and let this run through. If we think that we can earn our own salvation through being a nice person, doing good deeds for those around us, that may be an indicator that our lives have been changed. But to think we can save them, that in my mind is the worst insult that we can give to Jesus. To think that my good works are equal to or even better than his sacrifice on the cross, the shedding of his blood, from giving up his equality with God in glory and coming to earth and going through all that he went through, to think I can match that with my good works. It's prideful and it's insulting to our Savior who shed his blood for us. And someday is going to come if we've put our faith in him, and he's going to take us to glory. and forever we will be with him in glory. And we didn't earn that. It was gifted to us like an inheritance. So blessings to you today on this Saturday.